Okay, welcome back. We're gonna start the second element of this week 8 lecture, the chapter for project management. We're gonna focus quality. Quality is one of the fundamental element within project. If you recall from the very first lecture, we say the iron triangle, the key constraint along scope, time, and the cost. Quality is the center of this triangle, the iron triangle, which is quite important that the project gonna be executed or delivered. Even we gonna select the project, quality is one of the most important element that we have to take in consideration. So looking to see how quality both in the project and operation is equally important, and all the organizations, they are trying to ensure that the end result is coming with 100% as per the expected standard or a set quality to achieve, and we have to put a system in place because the project quality management is basically the process through which quality is managed and maintained throughout the project. It depends what projects we are involved, irrespective the size and nature of the project, quality can be taken in consideration. If it's a huge project, complex nature project, we even have a team, they are responsible for assuring and maintaining the quality during the life of the project. And even if the project is completed, handed over to the end user, we have to do the post-project review to ensure that the benefits are realized and the end users are enjoying the expected benefit as the beneficiaries. So the responsibility of the quality management process and project basically to ensure that the quality expectations are achieved. This means that it might be possible and it's of course reasonable to have a quality with the product. We don't want any product to or any project that handed over to customer with any low grading, and we have to make sure that it is never acceptable to have a low quality for any product to keep the standard, and that is the success for the project team and the organization to take projects one after the other. So quality by itself is one of the four pillars of the project management along, as I said earlier, along with scope, time or schedule, and cost or budgeting. Quality, we have to make sure that deliverables, the key measure stones within the project, they come with the expectations of the client or the customers or the owner of the project. So quality control basically consists of the inspection, measurement, and testing to verify that the project output meet acceptance criteria that is defined during the project quality planning. So when we say what is quality management in simple terms or in a simple understanding, quality management is the act of overseeing all activities and tasks that must be accomplished to maintain desired level of excellence. That's very comprehensive to say in few words, because quality management includes the determination of the quality policy, creating and implementing quality planning, as well as the quality assurance, control, and then continuous improvement to learn lesson from whatever activities being completed. So quality management is basically the process for ensuring that all project activities necessary to design, plan, and implement a project, they are effective and efficient with respect to the purpose of the objective of that particular project and its performance. So overall, to look in the broader perspective, quality management is a continuous process that starts and ends with the project. So from the very start, when we do the initial phase of project till closing, so it is even after the project is being handed over, sometime we have to have the extended life of the project management, maybe for providing some training or maybe some commissioning or some health and safety check. It is more important again to prevent and avoid any kind of poor quality outcome So it's part of the every project management processes from the moment the project initiated to the final stage when the project is closed. We need as a project team to ensure that the project management is in place. And though we can do the project quality management can be broken down in various processes or different key phases such as quality planning, quality assurance, quality monitoring, as well as quality control. However, if you look at how in project context quality is defined, we say from start till end, we have to ensure all the processes are in place, and that is where we come up with the totality of features and inherent or assigned characteristics of a product, persons, process, service, and or system that bear on its ability to show that it meets expectations or satisfy the stated needs, requirement, or specification within the project. Either it is the milestones, the deliverables, or overall project end to end. So underestimating or omitting quality management activities likely to lead the slippages or overspends. It is also possible if it is not taken in, is not paid the due attention or is not properly considered, then the project may suffer with poor quality result. That's going to be quite alarming. So quality is one of the fundamental among the fundamental elements of the project management to lead the project or execute or complete or deliver with success. So however, when you look to the historical background, how did we get where we are now? So we know that from Deming and Joran, they outlined the principle of quality management. So we are looking back to the roots of quality management. We going back to the guide system of the medieval time with master craftsman status representing high quality goods and services, for example. So the fast forward to the industrial revolution, where quality evolved to focus on factory inspection and removing defective goods, we can see from, let's say, 1920, the total quality management is introduced to be used to trace back the statistical theory can be applied for ensuring the product with quality check and quality control. So the under the for example, the damming that is applied as one of the quality model, exactly the same Joran, Deming and Joran, they outlined the principle of quality management, and since the industrial age, we can see how many other important models are evolved and introduced. For example, Taiichi Oano is Japanese quality model from Toyota Motor Corporation, and then Japan has introduced an quality award, national quality award. This was introduced first time in 1951. However, the United States and state and European organizations, they began to implement quality management program in 1980s, looking to the Japanese set standards for total quality management and getting inspiration, and it's coming from east to west, and then that is equally applied by different organizations. For example, the US establishes the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award back in 1987. So the total quality is an imperative part of any business today, and it is it has been taken as the one of the fundamental component for continuous improvement. For example, Toyota has adopted and implemented continuous improvement as their core value chain for competitive advantage or strategic plan. So the project, when we take the quality management more in context of project management, project quality management is basically broken down in three main processes, and we can see in this graphical illustration quality planning, and then we're looking to the quality assurance and control of the quality. As first glance, each process group has an imposing list of input, tools, and techniques as well as the outcome or output. Keep in mind, these tools are not just new, because quality management within the project management, we have to consider how to identify in the planning phase what is more relevant as a set standard to be achieved. So that is basically the baseline, the parameter we have to set as a standard to be achieved during the execution phase. And then of course it is need to be assured with the analysis and evaluation the overall project performance whenever we have a project progress review on regular basis in different interval to ensure the project satisfies and achieve the set quality standards. And then the third process is basically to monitor a specific project result to determine the compliance with quality standards and eliminate the underlying causes of unsatisfactory performance. So that's more important, to make sure during execution phase particularly to monitor and control if anything is derailed or detract, then to bring it back with corrective actions to be taken without any delays. So in the planning phase, that is the first step of the process, we know what is the input. These are what we get from the planning phase. We should know what is the statement from scope, what is the policy for the quality, set standard as per the regulations, and description of or specification of the project or the product that is going to be produced, or the project to be completed. And then of course techniques or tools that need to be applied to do quality planning. When we have the master plan for the project, we can apply cost benefit analysis. This is one of the important technique applied for any project to ensure how much we're going to invest and what is the benefit to get out from the project. We can do benchmarking, flow charting, the Ashikawa diagram, fishbone or cause problem diagram, design of the experiments are some of the key tools or techniques can be applied when we get the idea for the quality from quality policy and the scope statement. We apply these techniques, and in the the document that we come as an output for the quality management plan that become a part of the master plan of the project. So as the other important elements, we have the plan, we need a quality management plan, and then of course the operational definitions, checklist, input of the other processes become part of the output from the quality planning process. In second step, when we have planning in place, we need to assure what is being promised. So the quality management plan become like our input document now. Whatever is being planned, that document will guide us. So we have to see the result of the quality control measurement and operational definitions. From here we know how to carry different key deliverables or small chunk of work, applying techniques to ensure everything is as per the set standard, and that can be done through quality planning tools and techniques, including the quality audit. There can be inspections or testing, and then we make sure to have the log or register for quality current status and is further improvement if it is required. And then the third step, when we have to monitor and control anything which is not working that need to be rectified, and we can see whatever is the result from our review and anything through inspection, quality management plan, we get the checklist, and then we apply different tools here, the techniques. We do further inspections. We make sure they apply techniques like Pareto diagram, Ashikawa diagram for finding the causes of any problem, and then we see if there is any trend analysis going to be applied as a technique. Depend again on the size and the nature and complexity of the project, how many tools will be required to check or control or monitor the quality. And then what we come as a result, we have the quality improvement document. We have the register or log acceptance decision if there is a need for further work, or we have to do something which required to be done again, rework, completed checklist, and then process adjustment. So that is the complete process for quality management within project. However, The key tools and technique in quality management includes there's a long list of techniques that can be applied in project management to lead it towards success. And you can see here that Pareto analysis to check sheet, and you can see cause and effect diagram to brainstorming, as well as the quality function deployment, failure mode effect and critical analysis, moment of truth and quality costing, nominal group techniques are some of the most important list from the list of the tools and techniques that can be applied. However, some other tools like scatter diagram, for example, or the check sheets, they are used during the course of the project. So project quality management is overviewed to ensure that these tools and techniques are in place to apply in the project to ensure the quality is there. For example, if we take the example of the cause and effect diagram, sometimes we call it fishbone diagram or Ashikawa diagram. So we can see in the cause and effect analysis that this look like a fish is give a shape, and you find the causes of the problem and what will be the different issues within if the quality is not being satisfactory. So the fishbone diagram, also known as Ashikawa diagram, that identifies the possible causes of any effect or a problem. So we want to get the idea what is the problem within the quality. So this diagram as a causal diagram created basically by Ashikawa that shows the potential causes of a specific event. So the common uses of the Ashikawa diagram are, for example, the product design and quality product prevention to identify potential factor causing overall effect. So each major cause that is identified, there can be number of effects. For example, if it causes human, there's the manpower or employees. So you can see there can be number of because of this major cause, number of effect. For example, it affect the lack of concentration, poor supervision, let's say demotivation, inadequate skills or training. So the fishbone diagram basically is a tool which is used to visualize all the potential causes to a problem in order to discover the root cause. So the fishbone diagram helps one project management group or the team, they can find out the causes, and then they provide the structure in which they can display the cause and effects to make sure what is the problem and how it's going to be rectified. So we are looking to the international standard organization. They have the set tools for quality and performance. So what is expected quality by the customer at one hand, and then what is planned quality by the organization, and we need to see that what quality produced by the organization end of the day, and what is pursued the quality by the customer on the other end. That is just like a cycle. The term quality has relatively the kind of application which is expressed by the ISO definition, that totality of the features and the characteristics of the product from end to end, or the services that is offered, that has to show or bear on its ability to satisfy the stated or implied needs or the expectation of customer. So consequently, the aspect of quality is usually left to the discretion of the laboratory, where we're going to check any product, or we make to ensure to do an inspection on any service. So according to the ISO 9001 set standard, the clause 9, the performance for evaluation determine what, how, when, and by whom the result will be measured and evaluated. That basically determines the method for obtaining, monitoring, and reviewing customer satisfaction. It is more like a research project. So you need to collect the data, get the feedback, and have an objective planned and effectively implemented internal audit program. So we are basically trying to measure of the client satisfaction, measure of the performance of the company. So on one end, we need to see how the company is producing with their set standard. If there's a production manufacturing plant, how they can meet the set standards for the ISO 9000 or 9001, for example. On the other end, we need to see what is the perception and what customers, how they will get satisfied, and how the organization's product can meet their need, that the product is fit for purpose or it's worth for money, or it can achieve the perception of the end user. So a strategy need to be in place for quality management within the organization. The quality management strategy is basically prepared during the initiating or the initial stage or phase of the project, and that can be approved subsequently by the project executive board. The quality management strategy is basically prepared in the initial stage and initial project process to be approved by the board, and then it's basically augments the project approach and can be regarded as the project measurement for the team to have the baseline and the response to the customers to meet the expectations for quality point of view. And again, they have certain acceptance criteria as a key factor for the project performance. So quality management strategy basically describes how the quality management system of the participating organization will be applied to the project and confirms any quality standards, procedures, technique, and tools that can be considered or can be applied or used to ensure the quality strategy is developed, implemented, that is in practice. So the criteria for acceptance for customer quality expectations, for example, there are statements about quality expectations from project product. So these statements basically have to give the confirmation, and they should cover the key quality requirement from the project product end of the day, and then any standards and processes they need to be applied to achieve the specific quality requirement. And this is again important, that any measurement that may be useful to assess whether the project product meets the quality requirement. So we are looking, let's say, in engineering or manufacturing product or project, we have to see the acceptance criteria when we do the testing, and we have the specification for the product or any kind of manufacturing, let's say there's a chemical test required or physical test or performance. The acceptance criteria must be expressed clearly without any doubt, and it should be in a very simple language. The customer would use just like the user story without any ambiguity as to what the expected outcome is, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable at the same time. So the quality acceptance criteria must be testable, easily translated into one or other manual automated test cases, for example. So we have to see the acceptance criteria. For example, if we have a scenario and we want to see what can be achieved from end of the product, or this durability or its specification, we have to see the action to be taken to achieve or to confirm the expected result. That is more important to cover within the customer quality expectations as the acceptance criteria. So we know the acceptance criteria is basically based on the project measurement to be defining the attributes for product to be acceptable by the end users or the key stakeholders. It also includes number of key features, how it looks like, the features, the appearance, the product standard with reliability and its performance. So the project must demonstrate that all acceptance criteria have been met, and that is where the project is accepted, or the product, and it's worth for the customer time and their investment. So the important idea we have to see here when we do the quality assurance and testing, they should be prioritized. It's help if there has to be a trade-off between some criteria, for example, high quality, early delivery, or low cost. How you can trade off depend what customer want, and if there is a flexibility. Example of prioritizing technique is one of the technique applied. We call it Moscow. Moscow technique is applied, which is the acceptance criteria is rated as or abbreviated as must have, should have, could have, or won't have for now. So Moscow principle is applied to ensure if you trade off what is going to be definitely part of the product or the project, or what could be or won't have for some reason. So that is quite an interesting approach to ensure that the quality is checked with acceptance criteria without having any issue with the project to be declared as a success. All the must have or should have acceptance criteria should be mutually achievable. So you cannot set up an objective in the quality control or quality acceptance criteria which is not feasible. So that's again very important for the project quality plan to quality acceptance and quality control, that all has been defined and it has been agreed as the acceptance criteria in simple English terms, and people do understand and they can easily interpret, and there is no any jargon words or any misinterpretation. And then that also include what has to be, which is must, and what should have accepted criteria is included within the acceptance criteria, and that is accepted mutually by the end users as well as by the project team, and that is realistic and achievable. So quality responsibility is again important to avoid any doubt here. So the quality responsibility for a product should be specified, and that means when you have the quality responsibility drafted, you have a clear understanding what customer want. So the customer needs and requirements to develop effective quality control processes in place. It also devising and reviewing specification for the product or any processes in the project. So setting requirements for let's say parts of the product work package, all the material including, or any suppliers, how you the supplies that has to be part of as a raw material, for example. What is a set standard for acceptance to be part of the quality assurance? So the quality that is the responsibility for the project manager or the team. They are responsible to look after the quality to ensure there is no compromise, as it is agreed from the quality acceptance criteria as we discussed in the earlier slide. So that means the person or a group, they are responsible for developing the product. They are producers, reviewers, anyone who are independent. It can be in-house, or sometime they are people, they are outsourced as neutral to ensure the quality is checked. And there are sometimes regulatory authorities, and they have a compliance that they have to come to visit the project. Let's say there is a construction and you want to see the quality of work, let's say in context of health and safety executive. Their inspectorate are so powerful, they come on the site, they make sure that everybody is with the helmets, the high-vis jacket, hard shoes, gloves, and every employee is safe, and the quality of work is high standard, because the construction project can be quite fatal if there is proper health and safety measures are not taken in consideration. So who's going to review and make sure who's responsible? Is it a project manager responsible, or is the project owner responsible? Again, depends on the nature, on the complexity of the project. And who's going to approve it? The person or a group, for example, project board, who is identified as a qualified and authorized to approve a product as being complete and fit for purpose. So that is interesting to see, is there any tolerance level? So when we have quality assurance, we have quality plan in place. So predefined quality tolerance limit should be established at the same time and agreed with the client, taking into consideration number of, for example, characteristics. It can be, let's say, health and safety, you cannot compromise, or the quality or alternative product. For example, if there is long range of products, and if there is a chances that, would that be contingency for quality of the product to be accepted? What is the alternative? Do we have only one strict criteria for a product to be accepted as part of the project, or we have alternative in case A is not available, we can substitute with B or C? So we have to make sure that the predefined quality tolerance limit should be established, taking into consideration number of important characteristics and variables, as well as statistic design of the trial. So it is important to see what is the quality tolerance. Is it more than 10% or less than 10%? It is the criteria defined as acceptable range for the value that is within 10% more or less, and then the project quality is assured. That is the flexibility, basically. That is where you believe the range within 5 to 10% is accepted. Again, depends on the project. In some project it will be even less than 1%, and in some project this quality tolerance can go up to 10%. For example, if a quality criteria that product is, for example, in red color, and on the color spectrum the quality tolerance might be stated, let's say plus minus 3 shades on the spectrum. So we need to see, is it going to be, again depend on the organization's criteria and their quality tolerance. If it's a very sensitive product or project, or it is high tech, then maybe the tolerance level is very, very low. We have to be very precise with the product to be produced. So again, you can put this in colors, even amber, yellow, red, green. It's just like a traffic signal. What is acceptable? What is the tolerance level at some within the range, or something which has to be reworked, or then a due consideration has to be taken before the product goes for production. So we put the register in place, that is quality plan or quality sometime log, and this log is basically giving a clear understanding to see what has been put in plan as the quality for the product, who will be doing it, how frequently we're going to do, is there need any audit, is there a need for review, inspection or testing. Again, the project progresses and record of quality activities are received, quality register is updated time to time. That is part of the plan as it's shown in this graphical illustration. How we create the log is just a tabular plan. We know the key quality, we have the coding for each activity in the quality, and then we have to put this plan in place with review time to time when we inspect it or do audit, and then we know who is the responsible person to do it, who is the producer, reviewer or approver going to be approving this particular activity within the project quality, when we have to measure and we have to review and find if there is any tolerance level, if the quality is pass or it is fail. For example, sometimes we do laboratory test on some certain product at the prototype level phase, and we sure if they're going to pass the laboratory test or it's going to be fail, and then we need to put in the log the update, which date it is done, and if there's a need of a review to do it again, and what will be the final result. So a quality plan is a document or several documents sometimes that together specify quality standard, practices, resources, specification, and the sequence of activities relevant to particular product, service, project or contract by itself. Again, it's depend on the size and nature of the project, because quality register is used to summarize all quality management activities that are planned or have taken in consideration to provide key information at various stages or end of different phases of the project. It has to report all the people that to find out the purpose that the quality check is used, and then there's a unique reference for the quality activity, and we can also find out if the final the key deliverables or the part of the product that has been recorded with quality check. Please continue your discussion on the discussion board. What are the effect of quality expectation on particular project? What do you think? What do you believe maybe quality expectations of a electric vehicle, for example, a recharging pump we are using? So what is your understanding? What do you believe the expectations of quality if you want to charge your hybrid car or electric car from the electric vehicle recharge pump? What do you think is the more appropriate parameters to ensure the quality? Please do read your chapter on quality management from your text and core book, Harvey Meller and Pinto. And keep safe. We will have to continue our discussion in the workshop.